Ola Electric was locked yet again in upper circuit after founder Bhavish Aggarwal announced the company's foray into e-motorbikes and quick commerce warehousing. The Karnataka government will withdraw all its funds from accounts in the State Bank of India and Punjab National Bank. The funds will be kept in its treasury, says the financial advisor to the Chief Minister. It's an NDTV exclusive. Feeling scammed by airline websites and apps when you try to book a ticket? That's because you probably are. The results of a survey on dark patterns used by airline companies to force you to book tickets. The first election in 10 years in Jammu and Kashmir and the first after abrogation of Article 360. The Union Territory goes to polls in 3 phases on the 18th of September, the 25th of September and the 1st of October. Haryana will go to polls on the 1st of October. Results for both are on the 4th of October. The Calcutta High Court orders protection for protesting doctors. The High Court says that although the crime scene was protected from the attack, there is a critical need to ensure the safety of doctors and nurses working at the hospital. 24 arrested for vandalizing the hospital. Good evening and welcome. You're watching Profit 360 on NDTV Profit and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Over the next half hour, we bring you all the headlines from the markets and other news as well. Beginning, however, with how the markets have fared today, the Nifty and the Sensex snapped a 2-week losing streak with Nifty IT and Nifty Realty leading the rally at the benchmarks. Agam Vakil has more.
But what a day it's turned out to be. This Friday afternoon, it's certainly been one where we've seen a strong advance for the benchmark indices. The Nifty climbing 1.7%. It is the same for the Sensex too. And the Bank Nifty, of course, among many others which are actually standing out, which have driven the markets upwards. But let's not discount the contribution of the IT index. A lot of these IT companies have also advanced and in fact contributed to the most in terms of the up move. The IT index itself is up around 2.9%. Now, this is as far as your contribution on the Nifty goes. ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, TCS and Infosys. Even if you consider, some of the other factors as far as the markets are concerned, in terms of the heat map, you realize that it is largely the banks in the IT sector which have done well and provided that impetus. This, of course, also gives you an idea that there were only 3 stocks in the Nifty 50 which were in the red, and that too marginally so. There was a lot of strength across. Even if you consider the broader markets, something like the mid-cap index that outperformed the benchmarks, it was up to around 2%. It was the same for the small-cap index as well, up as much as 1.7%. And even in the broader markets, we had names like Uflex, Polyplex Corp, Nippon Life, all of them advancing substantially. In fact, Uflex was at a 20% upper circuit. And names like Emphasis and Zensar Tech, also from the IT sector, were doing very well. On the losing end, of course, you had Hindustan Zinc after, of course, the corporate announcement from its parent, and Varun Beverages, Adani Energy and Campus looking at a little bit of weakness. But today was a day where we saw a considerable amount of strength return to markets on the end of a truncated week. So Monday most certainly promised to be another exciting one. Well, we'll be watching out for that one.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Agam. Now, Vinita Bolinchkar of Ventura Securities has some stock picks for you.
The entire business keeps growing, and I think they have stabilized quite a bit. We expect the stock, as they've guided, to achieve EBITDA profitability before ESOPs by the 4th quarter of this year, and become PAT positive by FY27. So there is only a delay of 1 year from what we were projecting since the IPO came out. So I think the company is very much on the growth track, just like Zomato was. And once the profitability is visible, then the re-rating of the stock will start. So we think that just like Zomato has built credibility over a period of time from being a naysayer stock, I think Paytm is following a similar trajectory.
And Ola Electric stock prices saw a surge of 20%, hitting upper circuit after the company announced its entry into the e-motorbike segment. Ola announced the launch of Roadster and also teased 2 new motorcycles. But what's the road ahead for Bhavish Aggarwal-led group? My colleague Puneet joins in with more insights.
It's a very big entry into the EV bike segment, the first for the company. And do know that the EV bike segment in India is a very niche market, just 10 to 12,000 units sold in a particular year. So they have launched 3 models under the Roadster platform, the Pro, the X, as well as the Roadster name. And the Roadster X is the one which is very interesting because it's priced at just 75,000 rupees while having most features of a commuter bike. To make it a comparison, when we look at 100cc Splendor X-Tech, it's priced at roughly 82,000. So it's like, undercut one of the most high performing 100cc bikes going forward. And with this, they are likely to get into a segment which is an audience also, which has largely been untapped before with the EV scooters. Taking the positivity forward, we had the Q1 results as well, which had gross margins improved like 870 basis points. And the third key thing was the trigger, which was the HSBC initiating coverage on the stock this morning. They have a target price of 140 rupees per share, and they have mentioned that, Ola is a flag bearer of the EV revolution in India, and they see that the company's battery venture going forward will be one of the key things to look out for, which will also reduce cost by roughly 30 to 40,000 rupees per vehicle over the next 3 to 4 years. They are saying that the increased EV penetration will also help, company's market share, which is at 49% currently, and the Pro as well as the Air models of the company, which is PLI compliant, will help margin accretion going forward. So overall, multiple triggers for the stock, working very well for Ola Electric in trade today. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much for that. And NDTV Profits Rishabh Bhatnagar spoke to Ola founder Bhavish Agarwal about the market share that Ola Electric is looking at in the next couple of years.
We don't seek market share, Rishabh. We seek consumer love, and we focus on building disruptive products which really capture consumers' imagination. And that's what you see with our bikes here today. We've launched 3 bikes, not 1 but 3 bikes. The whole Roadster series, Roadster Pro, Roadster and Roadster X, from 75,000 rupees up to 2.5 lakh rupees. For whatever customer segment, whatever price point they like, they can choose their product. So we feel very excited. Electrification in bikes will be quite fast, given the market is already conditioned to EVs compared to 3 years ago. And we hope the consumers adopt our products. And if you look at the marketplace of EVs and motorbikes, actually koi competition hai nahi zyada. So we are the vanguard of this EV frontier in motorbikes.
Now, the Karnataka government will likely transfer funds deposited with the State Bank of India and the Punjab National Bank to the state government treasury. This follows allegations of financial irregularities and unauthorized transactions involving state funds by these lenders. NDTV Profits Pratibha spoke to senior MLA and financial advisor to the Karnataka Chief Minister Baswaraj Reddy on this.
The decision on closing all accounts with respect to the government departments and institutions with SBI and PNB, was that also discussed?
No. That matter has not come in this meeting. It's not an issue at all. See, there are many departments that have kept money with various banks. There is a chance of there is a misuse. Already there are certain accounts have been misused. Due to that, government has decided to withdraw that all the money whoever kept in the banks, keep in the government treasury. So it will cut off the misuse. In that connection, the matter is going on. This was not come in this meeting.
Sir, but the deadline given is just a matter of a month to move so many accounts and so much of money. What are the options?
What are the options? You know that all the money will come to the government treasury. That is good. You know that if it is in the government treasury, nobody can touch it. You know, if in bank means it may transfer from this bank to that bank, then back to this bank. Government does not have control on that.
So it's going to be with the government treasury and not with any other bank?
Yes.
No other bank will be explored in this?
I think if it is in the treasury, I think it will be totally controlled by the government itself.
So don't you think that this is going to be seen as a political move as well in the prospect of the Valmiki scam as well?
No. Of course, Valmiki scam. We do agree that there is a scam. We never say that there is not a scam. You know, at the official level, it has been held. So inquiry is going on. Let us see. Let report come.
And Ashok Leyland showcased their innovations in buses and trucks in a 2-day expo that was held in Mumbai. Tushar Deep Singh of NDTV Profit caught up with the president of the division, who believes price parity between electric and diesel buses is still far off.
When you talk of electric trucks or buses, I think it will take some time for TCO to kind of get stabilized. In case of buses, there is a support coming in from government as they want to really promote electric buses for city transportation, and that is where government is supporting STUs while they are purchasing those electric buses. When it comes to trucks, it's more of a private business, and right now there is no subsidy available from government on trucks. So yes, it will take some time. However, positive news is that overall battery prices will continue to fall, and that should help in improving the overall total TCO for the electric. Right now, it is definitely not matching with the diesel.
Let's talk about the EV business a bit. You are showcasing electric trucks and buses. You also have a division under the Switch Mobility. How much is electric vehicles contributing to your business at this point of time? And how much do you expect it to contribute? What's the target, so to speak, to make EV to be part of your entire portfolio?
See, when I talk about buses, Ashok Leyland domestic business does not look after buses. It's managed by a separate company called Switch. And so those details are available with them only. When I look at the overall industry in terms of trucks, I would say that it's just a beginning. And we have just launched these products, and right now we are in the process of working with some of the customers in terms of testing these vehicles, seeing in terms of the charging infra availability, and then how the trips are being made, how overall vehicles are performing. So it's too early for us to talk, in terms of talking about the numbers for EVs. However, I feel that LNG will pick up much faster than electric trucks. As we are seeing the advantage in terms of LNG pricing right now, and there is a push coming from oil marketing companies also, and they are kind of reaching out to customers in terms of giving them a differential over diesel. So probably you will see a faster adoption for LNG trucks.
Now, Mahindra and Mahindra has launched a new 5-door version of the Thar, and NDTV's Mukta Mishra caught up with the Executive Director Rajesh Jejurikar on what next for the automaker.
Often when we launch products, people wonder whether, we are doing predatory pricing or, we are like underpricing ourselves. But you've seen our auto margins go up with time, and, we've right now reached the business to a scale which is, fairly large by way of volumes. We do start getting a good volume benefit. We're also among the larger buyers of tech in the country at the moment because of XUV 700 to begin with, where almost 70-75% of the sales of XUV 700 came out of the higher end versions. So in a way, we were among the largest buyers of ADAS and a lot of this in India. So many of the suppliers today, seeing our commitment to bringing in or democratizing new technology, have localized technologies for us, and that is helping us carry that into newer and newer products because, in our way of thinking as well, if the more we scale up volumes, the better pricing we get, and then we are able to create greater value for customers.
Now, you're probably being scammed by airline websites and apps when you try to book a ticket. That's what a survey by local circles on dark patterns finds. That means the use of manipulative tactics to mislead customers into paying a higher fare on the purchase of a flight ticket. Himakshi Bahuguna joins us with a detailed report.
Have you noticed that if you check the price of a flight online more than once, the ticket price shoots up? Have you also randomly paid for travel insurance or a charity that you did not want to pay, like the box that is ticked by default to pay 1 rupee to a charitable organization, and you realize you've been tricked into paying it? Have you also felt like you absolutely must book a flight ticket within the time stipulated by the airline, or the ticket will get more expensive? Well, you're not alone, obviously. A survey done by Local Circle states that 6 in 10 flyers have confirmed what they called dark patterns on airline apps and websites. There are some fancy terms for these dark patterns. Basically, these are unethical and sometimes even illegal methods used by airlines to force you to buy that ticket. The survey found that 4 in 10 flyers have experienced basket sneaking. That's like 1 rupee that you pay for charity. They sneak it in without your knowledge. 72% of consumers surveyed that they have frequently experienced airfares being increased if they search for a flight multiple times in a session. 62% of respondents said that they have felt a false sense of urgency to get them to book faster, and they found hidden charges that were not presented upfront. More than 20,000 flyers located across 322 districts responded to this survey. Clearly, there's an urgent need for airlines to stop these deceptive practices as they're so rampant.
And in fact, a detailed discussion on the local circles report with the founder, Sachin Taparia, is coming up at 6 this evening. Well, we slip into a very short break. On the other side, more news. The IPCA Labs is in focus on the back of the launch of its new drug, Dicus, which treats diabetic foot. Maitri spoke to the managing director, Ajit Jain, and began by asking him about the drug itself.
Clinical trial, phase 3 clinical trial was done, and it is established that almost around in first 3 months of treatment, almost more than 60% of the populations, they are getting their wound closure. And even after stopping the treatment within 6 months, almost around 70% of the populations are getting the complete cure of this foot ulcer. And beauty of this product is that once wound is closed, it doesn't get reopened again. So we plan to build more than 100 crore product in short period of time. So it will definitely have a lot of efforts are required from our side, addressing supply chain, so many other issues, promoting product, continuous educating the medical professionals on that.
Well, time for a very short break here, but on the other side, we bring you updates on the Kolkata doctor rape and murder case. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, the Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar took a jibe at Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi while addressing students of the National Law University. In a veiled dig at the Congress leader, he said that a person holding constitutional position of trying to destroy the Indian economy.
Has a remedy been created beyond what is provided in the Constitution? Constitution provides original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction. It provides review also. But we have curative. If you do not focus on these nuances, I wonder who shall do it. Think about it. I got extremely worried when a person holding constitutional position just last week declared in a well-publicized media, I would say, campaign, beseeching Supreme Court to suo motu invoke jurisdiction.
And a detailed discussion on the political significance of this is coming up at 6 this evening, so do join us then. Now, the Election Commission of India has announced the schedule for assembly elections in Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir. The poll panel said that the elections in Jammu and Kashmir will be held in 3 phases, beginning the 18th of September, and Haryana will go to polls in a single phase on the 1st of October. The results for both assemblies will be announced on the 4th of October.
Elections in J&K will be held in 3 phases. So this is a shorter period. This is a much shorter period, much shorter than even the parliamentary elections, which were 5. 20th of August, just the next day of the Amarnath Yatra being complete, the 19th, would be the date of notification for the first phase. Nominations till 27th, scrutiny on the next day, 28th, and date of poll will be 18th of September. And it's a Wednesday. We are also keeping that in mind, not keeping Fridays and Mondays to give a longer holiday spell. Second phase would be on 29th of August, and the statutory period of nominations and all. Poll being on 25th of September. And phase 3, nomination on 5th of September. And every voting finishing on 1st of October. So counting would be on 4th of October and everything would be over, bind up on 6th of October. Haryana would be in the last phase, exactly coinciding with the 3rd phase of J&K, nomination being on 5th of September. Last date of making nomination on 12th of September, date of poll 1st October, and date of counting coinciding with J&K on 4th of October, everything to be over on 6th of October.
All right, now more on assembly elections. Uddhav Thackeray has announced that he will support the chief ministerial candidate of the Mahavikas Aghadi ahead of the assembly elections in Maharashtra. While speaking at the first joint meeting held by the alliance, Thackeray said that the candidate should be announced before the elections. The meeting was attended by Sharad Pawar, the working president of the NCP's Sharad Pawar fraction, Supriya Sule, Congress State President Nana Patole, the former Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan, amongst others. Now, protests have hit the nation as doctors across the country have gone on strike. Now, they are protesting, demanding justice for the 31-year-old trainee doctor who was brutally raped and murdered in Kolkata. NDTV's Saurabh Gupta has the latest.
Well, the Calcutta High Court has taken strong note of the incident of vandalism at the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital. It has also taken strong note of the police and administration's failure to prevent the attack on the hospital, which led to, the emergency ward of the hospital completely vandalized. And that, of course, has also led to a lot of concern among students who say that their point of the protest, that is security, was definitely, proved in terms of the protest and the incident that took place where a mob gathered from all these directions. Now, this was one of the directions that my camera person is showing you where the mob gathered. The other direction was on the right side. And, of course, it is at this crossing here where the police was trying to, push the mob out. And the police on this crossing that day had to fire tear gas shells, had to fight with whatever they had. And several officers were here, and we were here witnessing how the mob, intent on coming in to the RG Medical College and Hospital to vandalize the emergency ward, was stopped to some extent by the police. But before that, several groups had already entered and vandalized, and the police was trying to push them back. Now, this, of course, has led to a lot of outrage. But the police say, and they've confirmed this, that the crime scene, which is the place of occurrence of the first crime, which is the brutal rape and murder of a second-year student at the RG Medical College and Hospital, is intact. The place of occurrence is intact. The mob could not reach that spot. The students say that the intention of the mob was to reach that spot and vandalize whatever evidence was there. But the police have managed to save the place of occurrence from any kind of incursion by the mob. And here, of course, a prolonged battle took place between the mob and the police contingent, and clearly the police contingent were outnumbered, and the Calcutta High Court has asked some questions about that why was this kind of a thing allowed to happen. This is, of course, something that the police were, should have been prepared for, because given the protests that were taking on, the police should have been prepared to handle crowds. But what we know so far is that questions have been raised in the Calcutta High Court as well.
Now, big news coming out of Sweden today as the country reports its first case of a more severe Mpox variant, Clade 1b. Now, this is the first to be found outside Africa. The strain has been causing concern in the Democratic Republic of Congo since last year. Over in Pakistan, 3 travelers from the UAE have been diagnosed with monkeypox in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The WHO has also declared this a global outbreak, a public health emergency, underscoring the growing threat of the virus. Well, that's all we have time for right now on Profit 360. Thank you very much for joining us.